But I'm wondering if we even need to ask a more basic question. What is dreaming? Maybe that's obvious, but maybe not so obvious.
No, I think it's a great question, and I think many of us make this fatal error in trying to understand the dream without first asking, where does it come from? Right? I just want to go back a step.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole notion of unlocking the unconscious is interesting because it presumes that the unconscious is already locked. And I'm not sure that it is. And if it is, I think maybe the lock is on the inside, that consciousness is locked. And to understand dreams and then understand dreaming, I think we first need to look at the presumptions we make about what it means to be awake. We presume that dreaming is a subset of waking or a subset of brain activity. And I think from a broader spiritual and certainly from an experiential perspective, it's not necessarily so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think there's the assumption, and Kelly, I'll turn to you, that dreaming is, while certainly fascinating, it's kind of not as real as our waking state. It's maybe it's a distorted version of reality. And you know, what's most real is our experiences that we have when we're awake. What do you make of that perspective?
Well, one way that I try to frame dreaming and answer this question of what is dreaming is I think of dreaming as imaginative play in sleep. And just as virtually all mammals engage in play behavior, particularly in the early stages of life, as ways of preparing for adulthood, trying out different possibilities, exploring different ways of approaching survival-related kinds of behaviors, I think that's what dreaming is doing. That dreaming is a kind of play. And so play is, I mean, would you say, you know, you see some kids playing a game of house, would you say, oh, their brains are malfunctioning, or you know, there's something deficient about their cognitive processes? No, they're engaged in play, which is a different kind of brain-mind behavior, a different way in which we engage with reality, but it's not lesser than reality. Or I think that's a false opposition to say, oh, dreaming is less real kind of reality. It's a different kind of reality.
One of the challenges here is that we typically define dreaming in terms of REM sleep. And this has been going on for many years. And we know that we're much more likely to report a dream if we're awakened in REM sleep. But there's been evidence for a long time that there's experienced dream-like mentation that proceeds in other stages of sleep.
Wait, so you can have a dream without being in REM sleep?
Yes, yes. And some of us who are Jungians would also argue that there's dream-like mentation that goes on as an underground stream during waking consciousness. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, then we begin to look at waking as a kind of dreaming and not dreaming as a subset of waking. Mm-hmm. You know, we say dreams come out at night for the same reason we say stars come out at night. But they don't really. They're there all the time. It's not like they're hiding on the other side of the planet and saying the sun's coming down, let's go over here. So dreaming is a little bit like that. And I think many people who are involved in creative endeavors or artistic learn in their own personal way to tap into the dream.